The FDA's attempt to ban N-acetyl-cysteine as a dietary supplement is believed by many that it was for the reason of safety, that N-acetyl-cysteine is actually dangerous. So in this video, we're going to talk about, is NAC actually dangerous, the health benefits it has to offer, and why the FDA wanted to ban N-acetyl-cysteine during the height of the pandemic when many people wanted it most. So this topic is very interesting. Let's go ahead and dive in. But before we do, I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski. Thanks for hanging out with me on the channel today. Let's take a look at why the FDA wanted to remove NAC as a supplement so that you as a consumer could no longer get it. Well, the FDA basically argued that NAC was classified as a prescription and not a dietary supplement. It was classified as a prescription when it was approved in 1963 for treating acetaminophen, which is Tylenol overdose. And the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act basically said that because it was first a prescription, it can no longer be sold as a dietary supplement. And they were looking at this through the guide of the drug exclusion clause. So why NAC, after being around for so many years, being considered safe, effective, and having a huge body of evidence behind it, why all of a sudden do they want to take it off the shelves? Well, one of the reasons is because all of a sudden there was a huge trigger of sudden attention to NAC because of COVID-19. And it was being promoted by those in the natural health community as a way to support your respiratory health and your immunity. And they weren't wrong for saying this because there's plenty of evidence saying that NAC will help with these issues. However, the FDA didn't like that. Let's take a look at how NAC could actually improve your lung health. Well, first of all, NAC has been shown to be a mucolytic, meaning that it'll help you clear mucus from your lungs. And it has been commonly used for those who are suffering from bronchitis, COPD, asthma, and it just helps you breathe easier. It'll also help with respiratory infections that are affecting your lungs. So it'll help you clear the mucus, breathe easier, and it'll help lower inflammation that is affecting the lungs. And as we know, during the pandemic, if you got COVID-19, it sent a storm of inflammation to the lungs. You wanted to shut that down, and N-acetyl-cysteine was a pretty good option for doing that, in my opinion. Now, the FDA also took a problem with those in the natural health community saying that it could help support your immune system. Well, how could NAC do this? Well, first of all, NAC is going to help lower inflammation, it's going to help reduce oxidative stress, and it's going to help the immune cells function better, okay? Now, NAC has far more benefits beyond that. It will help with heart health. It supports blood sugar and metabolic health. It supports liver protection and detoxification. That's why it's used in hospitals around the world so that you can actually detox some of these different things that you may have like overdosed on, like Tylenol. And it also is a powerful antioxidant. So if we look at NAC, it is a precursor to glutathione, one of the most powerful and profound antioxidants in the body. So NAC is going to help boost glutathione. This is one of the major benefits that it has. And NAC also supports brain and mental health. So as we can see, NAC has tremendous benefits. And if you want to get access to it, I'll put a link in the description below to the NAC that we use clinically, the NAC that I use personally. Now, the FDA, they wanted to crack down on this, on all the companies that are making claims about this, and they wanted to revisit the legal classification and turn the NAC back into a prescription medication because they found that the NAC being a prescription medication and also a dietary supplement was blurring the lines and they needed to clear things up. So what was the impact of all of this? Well, in 2020, the FDA started sending warning letters to all the different manufacturers who were producing NAC. Amazon and major retailers all pulled it off the shelf. We actually didn't. We made sure that people had access to it. And the next thing that happened is that it caused a ton of confusion in the natural health community and also to consumers thinking that NAC is actually dangerous. So from there, what happened next? Well, first of all, there's widespread backlash. Consumers, health professionals, and those who are all about health freedom basically went after the FDA. The Natural Products Association actually sued the FDA, and then in 2022, the FDA finally dropped it and said, look, you guys can actually use NAC as a dietary supplement. We're gonna back off of this, and we're gonna allow for it to be available once again. And now this is something that needs to be clarified. The FDA never tried to ban NAC because it was unsafe. They tried to ban it because of a regulatory technicality. And many people believe that this was very suspicious. And so put in the comments below what you think about this, because it was available as a dietary supplement for years, and then all of a sudden, the FDA took issue with it during COVID-19. Some people believe NAC is unsafe, but I will tell you that the reality is NAC is very safe. It's very inexpensive. And it's why I think it's one of the most profound things that someone can keep in their household in order to promote daily health. And I'll get to the dosage in just a moment. Now let's talk about the safety of NAC. First of all, NAC is extremely safe. And there's two big problems that people have when it comes to safety. First of all, we can hear that it's dangerous, but anything that you take and you're not taking the proper dosage of course can be out of line, right? So whenever we hear of the dangers of NAC, it has a lot to do with people taking hyper large doses of NAC. So from a dosage perspective, 1200 milligrams is considered safe if you're trying to overcome a condition, and 600 milligrams is considered awesome for a daily maintainer. And that's how I utilize it personally. Now, also, the other thing you have to consider is just like anything, NAC may not be the right thing for you. As in, let's take a food, for instance. Let's take dairy, right? Some people consume dairy and they have no problem with it. Other people consume dairy and they have a massive sensitivity to it. Well, NAC could be the same way. You may be a little bit sensitive to it and it may not be the right thing for you. However, the research shows that it has profound benefits. And as I mentioned, it's very inexpensive and it is going to improve your health in so many ways. So it's safe, it's effective, and also if you use it right, the dangers are next to none. Now, why does this all matter? And why are we having this conversation today? Because basically, health freedom is important and health freedom is your right. And NAC is one of the most effective, inexpensive, widespread bodily supports that you can probably purchase today. And it's good for you to have access to it, have the health freedom to have access to it. And this way you can always take control of your health and do it naturally. I'll put a link in the description below to the NAC that I personally use. And I hope this actually clears it up so that you don't think that something that is very healthy and very beneficial for your overall body is dangerous. I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about all the benefits of NAC, watch this video next.